So why Becoming Immortal? Why sign up for 6 months of self-mastery with us?
I feel like this is the most epic starting point, like starter block. Well, it's not even a starter block, it's like a rocket, isn't it? Into the possibility of people's self, into the possibility of the health they've always wanted, in all areas of their life, emotional, physical, and alchemical health, you know? That's why.
Yeah. So we just recorded a show for my podcast, actually, and we were talking about one of the things that we're seeing happening as a result of people doing this work. And that is that when we start to empower ourselves to be our own inner physician, when we start to empower ourselves to honor our own individuality, and we stop kind of going along with the herd when it comes to wellness.
Yes.
And we stop poisoning ourselves with food that doesn't serve our highest and best good. And we stop taking medicine that is manufactured to dull us and keep us ill and keep us sick.
All of the above.
Yeah, and we really step into, when we start to embrace self-mastery,
Yes.
it's like the blinders get taken off.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, people are able to actually see what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah.
They see the matrix.
Yeah. And what's happening in their world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in their world, because don't you notice it? And I know you see it a lot. I see it all the time in my practice with my clients, and I'm sure you do too. It's like this fighting battle of self. It's like having the intention to do the things, all of the intention to do the things, but then really not being able to push through certain areas in order to get to the goal, the initial goal of self.
Yeah.
And that is because there's really no kind of self-observation about what they need personally in order to open up that journey. And with Becoming Immortal, because it's a journey like of the elements and elemental imbalance internally, it really forces you into the integrity of seeing why can't I do for me in all areas, you know, whether it's pertaining to my holistic health, my emotional stability, my financial wealth, my wealth in general. Why is it that I cannot move forward in these things? You know, because it's through that kind of exploration, especially the exploration of constitution, right?
Yeah.
Which is where our weakest kind of pathology lies, that those kind of things are explored and expanded, and life just changes like that.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because Becoming Immortal is a deep dive into our constitutional factor.
Yeah.
And you just said, so each person has all the elements inside of them.
Of course, yeah.
But we each have an element that is our dominant element,
Yeah.
or is the element that is most present
Yes.
in our constitution.
Yeah.
And it's called our constitutional factor.
Yeah.
And so for the two of us, we're both metal constitutional factors.
Yes.
And your constitutional factor is your weakest link.
Yeah.
But when in balance, it's also your superpower.
Yes, exactly.
And so the beauty of really learning to understand this dominant element, if you will, is that when you discover the tools to bring it back into balance, your whole life can shift in an instant.
Yeah, literally. Physically.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and don't forget constitutionally, even though we're like, oh, can I just touch on something as well? Google cannot tell you your element.
So you heard it here. Google, the quiz on Google cannot tell you your 5-element constitutional factor.
And you cannot work it out from your birth date.
You have to have a proper, or your birth date, you have to have a proper diagnosis with a 5-element practitioner.
Yes, you cannot. It's nothing to do with your birth date, okay? So when you realize your constitution, obviously the elements are attached to internal organs. All right, it's not like, oh, I'm just an earth element or I'm a fire element.
Yeah.
You know, this is not, I don't know, name a Wiccan Netflix series, okay? It's not that vibe. It is like working with the internal systems and the emotional systems. So just say if you're an earth element, per se, or that's your constitution, we all have the earth element inside of us. But if that's your constitution, then likely in your life, most of your physical pathology or physical issues will show up in that element or the organs of that element, or maybe in the mother element, you know, and all of the emotional pathology or the chronic emotional patterns that you have in your life may probably be associated with that element as well. So being able to acknowledge that element and what brings those emotions out of balance, usually the organ systems to start with, you're able to break patterns, chronic health and emotional patterns that you thought were just ingrained in you until the day you die.
So the reason why this work hit me so hard, the reason I wanted to study 5-element theory is when you started telling me about the pathology that shows up as a result of metal imbalance. I was blown away because it was all the stuff that I've chronically struggled with my whole entire life. And I thought I just had these health issues.
And that was it.
And that was it. And that I was always going to have these health issues. And that was it. And it literally was like a laundry list of like, I've got that. I can check that box. I checked that box. I mean, from my vertigo to my skin conditions to my cysts that I get in my wrists. I mean, just, it was mind blowing. And all of that has changed for me. With just the ability to have the tools to know how to cultivate my metal element and bring it back into balance. And then to understand the mother-child element relationship, the controlling cycle relationships, and how sometimes it's not the metal element. Sometimes what needs to be looked at is in the child or it's in the mother. And this is what we teach in Becoming Immortal.
It's alchemy.
It's literally a freaking map to
It is.
living an incredible life.
Your highest, greatest.
Which is why we call it Becoming Immortal. It's literally
Exactly.
a map to becoming immortal.
It is. I mean, it's an incredible body of work.
And I think like it's an embracing of our humanity. And we're both super passionate about divinity and about our divine immortal soul. But we were talking about the ERC call, we were talking about that it's this chariot, right? Like we're living in this chariot that is the thing that powers or moves our divine immortal soul in this experience on earth. And we abuse that.
We do, in all the ways.
And we take it for granted. And we are purposely not taught how amazing and miraculous it is. Because when we know, we're unstoppable. And then we have the ability to fully realize our divinity and our humanity together. And then we can't be controlled and conditioned.
And you're healthy while you're doing it, you know? For sure. It's alchemy. This is lead into gold. It's the alchemical process. I mean, when we speak about alchemy, you think about lead into gold, right? But alchemy was actually like a Taoist practice. That's what internal alchemy is, right? It's through the deepening and the understanding of your internal ecology, seeing like the lead in there and then transmuting it. It's the process of transformation and transmutation, isn't it? That is what Becoming Immortal is actually. Isn't it? Transmutation, transformation, baby. Yes.
So it's a 6-month journey with us. And it's a deep dive in self-mastery. It's a deep dive and a commitment to actually learning who you are. And being willing to face the parts of yourself that you haven't wanted to look at. But also really is a key to freedom. Like to being able to literally drop the shackles of the chronic health conditions that you've had, the psychological issues that you've had, it's this whole body, incredible, holistic key to freedom.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Do the thing, people.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
So, and it's not all hard work and discipline and dedication. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It is. It's a lot of fun. And plus we're fun,
So we have an incredible informational video on it that we can share with you, that we would love to share with you if you want to know more about the details and ins and outs of the program. We have some incredible alumni that came on that and shared their stories. And so if you're interested in becoming immortal, we encourage you to watch that video and reach out and ask questions. It is by application only because we want to make sure that you're serious about your wellness evolution and your wellness journey. We're very, very committed to helping you get the very most out out of
Indeed.
this 6 months of your life, we know that radical transformation is available for you, and we would love to share this journey with you. So
is, yeah.
if you want more information, click the link that is there in the description of this video that's being shared, and come join us.
Yes, do it.
All right.